Story time of how I was stabbed in the back of my neck, almost lost my life, could have bled out, and could have been paralyzed. I was like 19 years old, and I was staying in Louisiana with my brother, one of my brother's people, right? And I'm staying out there. It's just me, you know what I'm saying? It's just me out there. I ain't got nobody else out there, just me and my brother people, you know what I'm saying? So besides them, nobody else. So while I'm out there, right, I'm like 19, right? I get a job. I'm working at Wendy's. It's my first job ever in my life. You know what I'm saying? Before that, I'm just doing other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Selling grams and doing all this other stuff to make money, you know, and doing crazy stuff. But I never had a real job. So I'm 19 years old. I ended up getting a job out there. So I was excited, you know what I'm saying? It's my first time having a job. So I'm working at Wendy's, bro. They paying me only like $7.25 an hour, right? And I'm staying in Lake Charles at this time, right? So I'm working at this McDonald's that's right across the street from like McNeese. You know what I'm saying? If you ever been to Lake Charles, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's a Wendy's that's like right across the street from McNeese University. So I'm working at this Wendy's, and they end up firing me, right? So boom, I'm like, man, I gotta get another job, because now I'm like, man, I'm seeing, you know, that money was nothing, you feel me? But I'm working real hours, you feel me? Getting paid $7.25, you know what I'm saying? And getting paid $7.25 an hour, working or getting paid every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing now, but you know, at that time I was like 19 years old. I'm like, man, all right, you feel me? I'm working, you feel me? But I gotta work a lot of hours, bro, just to see like $600, $700 checks. So they end up firing me, right? I say, man, boom. I say, all right, cool. I started applying for other jobs, right? I ended up getting hired at Ross, right? And Ross paying me like $9. So I'm like, oh man, I didn't came up. You feel me? So I'm thinking like, oh man. So while I'm working at Ross, I meet this chick, right? I'm 19 at this time. She like 23. You know what I'm saying? She going on 24. I'm going on 20. You feel me? So I'm working at Ross, so I'm going to work and stuff like that. And me and her end up texting back and forth. So I'm texting her, right? And while I'm texting her, she's like, oh, where you work at and stuff like that. So I told her, I work at Ross. You know what I'm saying? And right off the rip, she was like, oh, that ain't no real job. Like that ain't no real job. I'm like, man, what? So it like caught me off guard. I'm like, man, what? Like I'm trying to work. You feel me? Like I'm 19 years old, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a job. You know what I'm saying? This like my first year ever having a job. You feel me? Like I've been trying to get a job since I was like 15, 16. Nobody would hire me. So now I finally get a job. I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? It's something, you know, this cool. And first thing she tell me when we talking, like probably like 2-3 days into us talking, she say, oh, that ain't no real job. That ain't no real money. She like, how many hours you be working a day? I told her how many hours I be working. And she like, oh, nah, that ain't no real job. I'm in my mind, I'm like, man, what? So right out the rip, I was like, nah. Like, I was like, you tweaking. Like, I told her, I was like, man, what you mean? Like, there ain't no real job. I'm going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like what you talking about? And so boom, one day I end up having to go back to Houston, right? I ain't had no way. And she volunteered, you know what I'm saying? She was like, oh, I'll come get you. I'm in my mind, I'm like, what? I'm thinking like she lying. Like, you finna drive all the way from Houston to Louisiana to get me and bring me back to Houston? I say, man, what? So boom, she ended up coming to get me from Louisiana, bring me all the way to Houston to do what I had to do in Houston. And boom, brought me all the way back to Louisiana. I say, man, what? Like, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't thinking nothing of it. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. You feel me? So after that, you know, we end up like testing more and more and more. You feel me? So she came down to Louisiana and she did my hair, you know what I'm saying? She twisted my hair up and stuff. So she ended up leaving, going back to Houston, right? And she ended up, when I was trying to come back to Houston, you feel me? Because I'm ready to leave Louisiana. So Boom. She's like, oh, I'll come get you. So I'm like, man, I'm like, all right, cool. Boom. So she come and get me, bring me back to Houston. You know what I'm saying? We chilling a lot, you know, all that. So this where it got messed up at. Type of person I am, I always been the type of person that's like, you know, I'm gonna be real with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing with you. I'm gonna be real with you, right? So me and her hanging out and stuff like that. She was like, I told her, like, you know, she wanted to be in a relationship. I told her, like, I ain't want to be in a relationship. Like, I rock with you, you know what I'm saying? We cool, stuff like that, but I ain't trying to be in a relationship. So she was making it seem like, oh, okay, that's cool, all right, boom. So then later down the line, we started just hanging out a lot more, right? And when I told her, I was like, hey, like basically telling her, like, cause I don't know, something just wasn't right. So I told her, like basically, like, I don't wanna, you know what I'm saying, whatever we doing, like, I don't wanna do it no more, you feel me? And I ain't say that we couldn't be cool no more, but I ain't wanna, you know what I'm saying, cause I ain't wanna mislead nobody, I ain't wanna lead nobody on, or nothing like that. So I told her that, and she was like, man, she threw like a whole fit, you know what I'm saying? But now I know, like, it was like manipulation. Now I know that it was like, you know what I'm saying, all a facade, you know what I'm saying? To, like, I don't know how to explain it, bro, but so when I told her that, she made a big deal, started crying and all that, but like, was like, oh no, but I'm pregnant, you know what I'm saying? And this and that. So I'm like, man, what? And me, I grew up without my father, you know what I'm saying? I grew up for a little short period of my life, you know what I'm saying? From like 14 years old to, you know what I'm saying, 18, 19, without my mother, you feel me? So, like, from 14 to 19, I was raising myself. Well, I raised myself from 14 on up, you feel me? Because once I got 19 and I seen my mother again, you feel me? I was, you know, in my eyes, I was already an adult, you feel me? And I was still raising myself from that point. But the only thing I ever wanted, you feel me, was a family, you know what I'm saying, my whole life. I wanted kids of my own, start a family and all this. So she tell me like, oh, I'm pregnant and stuff like that. I'm like, man, what? Like, man, like, you know, I'm excited because I always wanted kids. And I'm excited because I always wanted kids. So I'm like, man, what, for real? She's like, yeah, I'm pregnant and this and that. So I'm like, man, like, I don't know how to wrap my mind around that, you feel me? So the whole topic that we was having, boom, I got off topic, and I'm just thinking in my head, like, about the kid, like, dang, like, I'm finna be a father. So I'm excited, right? So boom, I brushed off my first mind, like, all right, I don't wanna deal with you no more, you feel me, like, in that way. And now I'm getting pulled back in because I'm thinking that she finna have a kid, right? So I'm rocking with her, you know what I'm saying? Time going by. And I'm like, where the kid at? You know what I'm saying? I don't see, you know, stomach. I don't see nothing. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then she ended up telling me, like, later down the line, because I'm not seeing no stomach. I'm not seeing nothing. She ended up telling me down the line, like, oh, I had a miscarriage. So I'm like, oh, man. So I'm hurt about that because I'm like, man, I thought I was about to have a kid. You feel me? And, you know what I'm saying? I lost, you know what I'm saying? Like, the baby ain't make it. You feel me? So I'm like, oh, man. Like, you feel me? That's messing my head up, right? So I'm still rocking with her some more, you know what I'm saying? And while I'm rocking with her, because I'm thinking that she really had a miscarriage, you know, and she was really pregnant, but never seen no pregnancy, like going to the doctor to get tests done, and they showing ultrasounds. I never seen none of that, bro. But I'm a kid, bro. I'm 19 years old, 20 years old now. And I'm like, all right, you know, miscarriage, all right, cool. So later down the line, we end up leaving Houston, and I went out of town with her and her. I went out of town with her. We drove out there, you know what I'm saying? And we went to her pop's house. We went to her pop's house. He stayed in Oklahoma. And he stayed in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So we go to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I'm staying over there, right? She had a good job in Houston, but at this time we went to Oklahoma, she didn't have a job, right? I'm working 2 jobs. I'm working at UPS and I'm working at Ross, because I worked at Ross, you know, in Louisiana, and I went and I told them, like, hey, I used to work for y'all, and they ran my numbers and stuff like that, and they seen I used to work for them, so they hired me, like, right on the spot. You feel me? So they basically just transferred me from where I used to work at to the one in Oklahoma. They asked me, oh, what you know how to do? I told them I know how to do this. They was like, oh, boom, we can use you. So they hired me on the spot, right? When they hired me on the spot, I'm working at Ross in the daytime, walking from her pop's place to Ross in the daytime, like 7, 8 in the morning, getting off at like 2, probably 1, 2 in the afternoon, and then I'm working at UPS overnight. You feel me? UPS, they paying every week. Ross, they paying every 2 weeks. So, you know, we trying to figure out what we gonna do, stuff like that. And it got to the point where I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? The type of person I am when I'm rocking with somebody, I don't want to lead them. You know what I'm saying? Just like, all right, whatever. You know, figure it out for yourself. Like, I be want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, you good. You know what I'm saying? If we go our separate ways, I want to make sure you good before I go my separate way. You feel me? So I'm like, all right, boom. You at your pop's house. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nobody out here. You feel me? You got your pops. You know what I'm saying? You can figure it out, whatever you gonna do. But I'm like, all right, cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm working these 2 jobs. I ain't tripping, you feel me? Whatever you need, you can have that. But it got to a point where I was like, nah, like I'm on something else, you feel me? So I end up telling her, like, I don't wanna, you know what I'm saying? I don't wanna be together, right? And she started acting like real weird. So one day, I'm like, I started like changing everything, you feel me? She knew the password, the code to my phone, all that. So I started changing the code to my phone. I started, you know what I'm saying, doing, like, I started moving different, you feel me? And I told her, like, so one day I wake up and she in my phone. I'm like, what you doing? Like, what you on? And I'm asking her, like, how you get the code to my phone? You feel me? And I'm talking about she doing weird stuff, like, she calling like my card, stuff like that, doing weird stuff, like calling my card and stuff like that. Like, man, y'all don't understand, bro. Like, figuring out what my PIN is and figuring out what my code is to my phone, acting real weird. And I'm like, man, like, what you doing? So I'm telling her, like, you tripping, bro. Like, so now I'm like, all right, you acting crazy now you on some, you know what I'm saying, some other stuff. So I say, nah, I gotta get away from you. So I told her, like, nah, bro, I'm finna get ready to, you know, like a week or 2, I'm finna, you know, work a couple jobs, get a couple checks, you feel me? Like, if you need something, you know, I got you, you good. But if you need something, I got you, you good. But nah, I'm finna go, you feel me? And like a couple days after that, I'm waking up, right? I'm getting ready for work, right? So we at her pop's house, and I had my stuff like in this closet, like right when you open the front door, it's like a closet that's right there, and I got all my stuff in there. So I'm going to this closet. She in the kitchen, right? I don't know if she was cooking or what she was doing, but she in the kitchen. And I'm in the living room, I'm on the couch, and I'm like, man, I gotta get up and go, get ready for work. So I get up and I go to this closet, you know what I'm saying, that's right by the front door. And I go to the closet, I'm getting my stuff, you know what I'm saying, I'm in the closet getting my stuff, and I'm about to put on like a shirt or something. And while I'm in the closet, she come up behind me, you know what I'm saying, and stab me in the back of the neck with a knife, right? So when the knife hit the back of my neck, I feel it, but I'm like what? You feel me? So I turn around and I look, and she's standing there with the knife in her hand. And when I turn around and look at her, and I'm looking like, dang, like, you just stabbed me, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, you really just stabbed me? I end up, like, you know, I'm in shock, but I'm not froze, you feel me? Like, I'm not froze. So she looking like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Boom, she finna try to stab me again. So she go raise the knife up to try to stab me again. I grab the knife with my hand, right? And it end up, I grabbed the knife with my hand, and grab it like this. And you know, on the part, you know, with a knife at, you know, it'll scrape all that up, you know, because you know the side of the knife got those little things, like it'll cut you up. You try to touch it and somebody slide, it's gonna cut your whole hand up. So she had the knife like this, and she went to try to stab me again. I grabbed it with my hand like this, and I pulled it out of her hand, you know, cutting all my hand up. I'm like, I ain't tripping. You feel me? I pulled it out of her hand, right? And after I pulled the knife out of her hand, she opened the door, the front door, took off running out the front door. And I'm bleeding out, bro. You feel me? I had a shirt on, bro. It's like a sky blue shirt. You feel me? It had cut off sleeves. And I got stabbed in the back, right? The whole back of my shirt, like the whole back of my shirt drenched blood. Like the whole shirt, blood. From the back, from the top, all the way to the bottom. And it got to the point to where the front of the shirt started to be drenched in blood. Like, only this part of the shirt was not drenched in blood. Everything else from here down and the whole back from the top to the bottom was blood. Like the whole thing drenched in blood.